Hi everyone, it's Van. Hope you're doing okay and keeping well and having a nice Friday so far. In this video I'm going to do a response video to JJ the Bookworm Blacksmith's Tell Me Why I'm Wrong video in regards to books and not understanding the hype for them, maybe some meeting, on those kind of videos. So I'm going to start off with Tell Me Why I'm Wrong about Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries by Heather Fawcett. Now, I read this book, I think it was last year, because I liked the sound of it. I liked the synopsis. I thought this is going to be a great, an enjoyable read. Fairies and, all good things like that. And like fantasy realms and things. And I was disappointed. I'm not sure what I was expecting, to be honest. I thought it'd just be like a fun, frothy, enjoyable, time out kind of read. But I found the main character, Emily, just so annoying. I found it to be very obnoxious, very rude, very full of herself. And I understand she was, being portrayed as a woman of her time. I think it was Edwardian times, or might have been Edwardian. So obviously she's got to prove her worth. And, especially in a field of, to be fair, I can't remember what her job was, or I think it's in a field of discovering myths and supernatural beings, if you like, or something like that. And in regards to flora and fauna and botanicals, I understand she needed to prove herself to be a woman of the time, that she's not, to be looked down upon and basically told what to do and what not to do, and just know her place and be seated in embroidery rooms and speak when spoken to and things like that. So I get all that. And as again, to prove her worth in an academic field, I guess, in regards to botanicals and myths, I think, and things like that. But I just find it so obnoxious. I find it so obnoxious, rude, snooty, the way she spoke to characters, her ignorance at times, and her, I'm better than everybody else persona. And I can't remember what her counterpart's name was now. Oh my goodness, what was his name? If you read the book, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, her male counterpart, if you like. But the way she spoke to him at times, and the way she, was very rude to him, and very, full of self and pompous attitude. She just irked me. She just irritated me too much. I did like some of the characters in the books, and I did you know, the original, you know, the concept of the book was interesting, but it's just that one character, it's just the main character herself that I just couldn't get to grips with. I just couldn't, you know, she grinded my gears that much. I just couldn't take to her. You know, her whole persona, really. And I've often, you know, thought, and I've often said that, you know, to enjoy a book, it doesn't, to me, my personal opinion, it doesn't matter about the side characters so much, but the lead character, I think you need to have sort of a connection with, you know, to enjoy a book, to enjoy a story. At least, you know, take some of their points of view or their actions, you know, and accept them and take them as a lead character to enjoy the story, if you know what I mean. But this character, this Emily Wilde, I just couldn't, I couldn't take to her. I just couldn't take to her attitude towards people and her just, again, obnoxious aura, obnoxious attitude. And maybe I took her, you know, in the wrong perspective. Maybe I took the character wrong. But try as I might to see her points of view and try as I might to try to understand her nature, I just couldn't. And I've heard, like, well, not so much heard, but I've read, like, different reasons why she's maybe the way she is. But even so, I just found that an unlikable character. And I thought I'd give benefit to the doubt. And I did attempt to read the second book, just to see if I could have a change of view. My mind would be changed about her. But no. I think I read about 4 chapters in the next book and I thought, no, I'm done. I'm done with this character because I can't understand it. I don't like her attitude and I don't like her, you know, her self-pompous nature. So I couldn't read them. But that being said, the author, Heather Fawcett, she has brought out another book series, or started another book series called Agnes something's, I've got it here, Agnes Orbit's Mystical Cat Shelter. And so, you know, I thought I'd give that series a try, which is what I'm going to do when I get around to it. The second book, Tell Me Why I'm Wrong. The Scarlet Gospels, Clive Barker. Now, I've been a fan of Clive Barker now for many, many, many moons. Since the age of, 17, 18. I'm now 51. So I've been a fan of Clive Barker just as long as I have of Anne Rice. And I've enjoyed many of his books. I still do. My favourite all-time being Tall Dark Canyon. Now, when he released the Scarlet Gospels, you know, my hands was rubbing, I was excited. I'm like, finally, like another Clive Barker book. This is going to be epic. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be frightening, scary, and it's going to cause sleepless nights. Until I read the book. I thought it was mediocre at best. I'm not sure if he had I don't want to say ghostwriter, maybe ghostwriter. I know he wasn't, you know, well for some time. I know that. Thankfully, he got better, come through the other side, and he's still with us. You know, thankfully. But the Scarlet Gospels, it just didn't read like Clive Barker to me. There were some scenarios where I thought, what? you know, and we know Clive Barker is basically the master of horror telling. I'm sorry guys, if I got to choose between Clive Barker and Stephen King, Clive Barker all the way for me. And I'm not knocking Stephen King, great author, great books. I've enjoyed many of his film and TV adaptations from his books, but for horror wise, for me, in my opinion, Clive Barker, the maestro of the macabre. But Scarlet Gospels just didn't hit that note. It just, some of the scenarios, some of the writing style didn't read like Clive Barker to me. It didn't make sense, some of it didn't. And I've got to be honest, excuse my French for 1 minute, but there's one character that, even from Clive's darkest, deepest thoughts, would I ever dream that he would come up with a character like I'm going to have to say it, a shit monster, a silent monster. And I'm like, what, Clive, what is this? What is this? You know, you created the Hell Priest. Yeah, you created the Hell Priest. You created, my goodness, the Lord of Illusions. You created Midian, the Nightbreed. You created one of the most terrifying horror icons in the whole genre. Okay. Hell Priest, aka Pinhead. And you've come up with a shit monster. Again, excuse my language, but that is the way he's described. It's described, whatever, in the books. It didn't read like Clive. Now, I'm not sure, as again, if he had a ghostwriter, I'm not sure who assisted with him. But, you know, not for me. Not for me. I can't, it was mediocre. Kind of liked it. I've read it once. I won't read it again. I would rather read Mr. B Gone than read the Scarlet Gospels again. And I'll tell you what, Mr. B Gone, for a novella, shortish book, that terrified me. that is Clive Barker down to a T. Like, the shortest book I think is probably ever wrote, Mr. B Gone. That terrified me. You know, with some of the scenes in there. And that's why I never read that again. But I would rather read Mr. B Gone 10 times over than read Scarlet Gospels again. Again, Clive Barker, one of my all-time favourite authors. I can forgive him about this. I can forgive him about the Scarlet Gospels. One book out of many I've read, what was sort of hit and miss. I can forgive him for that. But Mr. Barker, if you're watching, should you be watching, which I doubt very much, but I'm still going to say it. A brat 4, please. A brat 4. Which brings me on to the final book. Oh, this Tell Me Why I'm Wrong. Probably a controversial opinion, but it is what it is. And I mean no disrespect to anybody who enjoys this classic. It is a classic, but in my opinion, book 3, Tell Me Why I'm Wrong, Wuthering Heights, Emily Brontë. I've read the book. I've watched adaptations of the book. My favourite being the one with Timothy Dalton and Anna Calder Marshall. Fantastic. My favourite, adaptation of the story. But I'm going to be honest. Heathcliff. I don't understand his appeal. I'll be honest. I don't understand how women would literally fall at his feet. He's opinionated. He is, again, to use the word, obnoxious. He's full of himself. He's intimidating. You know, the red flags are all there, you know, to use a modern slang term. The red flags are all there. I don't understand how he can literally pull the birds from the trees. You know, if he was to ever meet the Heathcliff in real life, I think he would run for the hills. He to me, he's got no sex appeal. He's got nothing to allure, you know, to draw you to his aura, I guess. And I find him and Cathy as revolting as each other. I've got to be honest, I think them both, well, obviously them stubborn, that's part of the nature, but I just think them both, they just deserve each other for all the wrong reasons. Their attitudes, I'm just vile. Maybe I'm seeing things from a different perspective, but I've always thought that. I'm like, if there's two couples what deserve each other, it's you two, and not for the right reasons. Arrogant. Cathy, we know he's a spoiled little bitch anyway, now I've said it. Arrogant, self-empowered, self-obsessed, then I'm being obsessed with each other, self-obsessed. And I just don't understand how they are one of the world's most beloved literary couples, unless I'm seeing things from a different point of view. But for many years I've thought the same. Now I've read Pride and Prejudice. I've read Jane Eyre. Oh, Jane Eyre, fantastic book. Absolutely love it. Possibly my favourite of the three, between Wuthering, Pride and Prejudice and Jane Eyre. For literary, brooding, classic heroes, Mr. Rochester. Mr. Rochester. I get the appeal of Mr. Darcy, in a way. You know, I mean, obviously Colin Firth brought Mr. Darcy to the forefront, didn't he? But yeah, I get Mr. Darcy's appeal. I get why, you know, people or readers are drawn to Mr. Darcy. I definitely get the appeal, and while readers are drawn to Mr. Rochester, Edward Rochester. Heathcliff, no, don't get it. I enjoy the films. I have seen, you know, the adaptations, the TV adaptations with Tom Hardy, and my opinion just has never changed, regardless of whoever's portraying Heathcliff. However, they put in their own spin on Heathcliff. It doesn't appeal to me at all. I know, controversial opinion, and I dare say I probably will get some hate for that, but I can only be honest. So, yeah, the whole brooding personality of of Heathcliff, his own mannerisms, his attitude, his spitefulness, I just don't get it. And I think Cathy's just as bad, and as like I've just said, if any couples deserve each other, it's them two. And this, you know, forever love, this love knows no boundaries, love knows, you know, basically love never dies. Who wants that? Who wants that crazy love? Who wants that obsessional, stalkerish love? I want money. I don't think anybody in the right mind would want it. And the red flags, seriously, Who would want that? You know, dangerous love like that. No, no thank you. No thank you. So yeah, Emily Wilde, obnoxious, full of herself, rude, and I just didn't like her character at all. I just didn't like the way she came across when I was reading the Encyclopaedia of Faeries, Scarlet Gospels. To me, that wasn't Clive Barker. You know, I was very disappointed with that, hence the reason I've only read it once. And again, with all due respect to Clive Barker himself and his many fans, it wouldn't bother me if I read it again, but I will happily read Abarat, Weave World, Damnation Game, Books of Blood, Calzar Canyon, and many more I've on my shelf, time and time again. Scarlet Gospels, one time only. Again, Mr. Barker, one of my all-time favourite authors. It'll never change. Never change. Wuthering, Emily Brontë, is a mystery. Is literally a mystery to me. And that's it. But again, all these are just my opinions. I mean no disrespect to anybody who enjoys these books. I mean no disrespect to anybody who finds these characters in these books more interesting than what I did, or who, you know, they're beloved characters to them. I mean no disrespect. If Mr. Heathcliff is your thing, then more power to you. You know, if you enjoy his brooding, obsessive nature, you know, especially in regards to dark romance, the dark romance genre today and things like that, if it is your jam, then again, more power to you. These are just my thoughts, my opinions, and just tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong, and I'll happily listen to your views. You know, or am I in the wrong? You know, and basically, am I the arsehole here? You know, am I just not getting these characters? Tell me why I'm wrong. Open to all ears. And that's yeah, that's it for today. Thank you, JJ the Bookworm Blacksmith, for this great video what you made, and for giving us, your viewers, ideas and, you know, ideas and inspiration to do a response video. So thank you, JJ. I very much enjoyed your Tell Me Why I'm Wrong video, as I did Mike at Bibliophile Reads. And that's it. Again, no offence, no disrespect to any readers out there who enjoy these books, who enjoy these characters, and who are fans of the author's works. These are just my opinions. Take care. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye for now. Bye bye.